And we are live. What's up, everybody? This is Justin from Party Rental Knowledge, and I got my buddy here, the tent guy, Adam.
What's going on,
Adam? If you don't know, we teach tips and tricks in the party rental industry. Adam's got a whole channel on YouTube, the Tent Guy, and entrepreneurial things. He teaches a lot about tents and his entrepreneurial adventures over there. I got a YouTube channel about party rentals I teach about over there. We got a sponsor. It's Inflatable Office. So they're sponsoring this week's Tuesday after party. So Inflatable Office is a software used by some of the biggest and best companies to grow the most. Why? Because no other software lets you keep your site if you leave. Interesting. So sign yourself up for a quick demo with the link below. I'm going to click this and put it in after the chat so you guys can use that a little bit. But yeah, we're taking sponsors, everybody, in the beginning. Like I said, we're taking sponsors in the beginning. We want everybody to know more about some of these companies. That's what the whole purpose of this channel is, to bring more awareness. The whole stream today is actually about
rental programs.
Yeah, rental programs, software. There's two different ways you can go about it. You can get into rental software by buying it outright, or you can buy a payment month to month. You put it best, basically. How do you explain it, Adam?
Before I go on, I just want to I'm putting it in the chat. This is a link to Event Office's video they did with me. Inflatable Office and Event Office are the same company. One's geared more towards bounce houses, right? And the other one's more geared to event rental companies. It's the same company, but they're a sponsor, and I did a video with them a while ago, so you can check out Event Office. But okay, so the different ways you can go about this. I personally, when I first decided to get a rental program, I had money by that time. Before that, I was using an Excel sheet and I was overbooking and things were getting messed up. But I had grown to a point where I had a good amount of money. So I just bought a rental program straight up. No fees, no nothing. It constantly gets updated still. You can pay for some other stuff, like to get it like fine-tuned to exactly what you want. Like I paid an extra $100 to have him change the wording in this one part that was confusing customers. And that program is called Rentmaster. Or there's when you're beginning and you don't have the large amount of capital just to buy a system straight up. There's all these companies that do the online. You don't even need to have a computer. You don't even need to have it installed on your computer. It's kind of cloud-based and it does a lot of things. There's advantages to both. One being I only paid once and never have to pay again, but I don't get to do online booking. I don't get to do, people can't go to my website and just do an online payment with the program. It doesn't have an automatic signature thing where people can email them, where there's the ones that you pay a monthly subscription for, which is lower cost up front, higher cost in the long run. It has a lot of crazy things that can save you time, and time is money.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. You're either gonna. They're also updated too a lot. The ones you pay for monthly, they put a lot of. They put that money right into the software and developing it constantly,
right,
trying to make it better and keeping with the times per se.
Yeah, like when I had a demo with Event Office, there's a lot of things that kind of blew me away, like automatic follow-ups, or to remind you to follow up. Maybe set it for 2 weeks later or whatever. People can just sign the signature through an email. When people change the things, you can get live updates of things being changed. And that was Event Office, but it's still Inflatable Office.
Yeah, they're both owned by the same company. They're pretty much almost the same software, just geared toward different ways. And then I use ERS, and I have a BCN logo on my ERS site. But no, I love ERS is pretty cool. I use them. It's actually like the first. I actually just saw them on YouTube. Go figure. But I saw them on YouTube, and then I went and actually just went and did a demo, and I was like, oh, well, this is perfect. This is what I need. I didn't do a demo with Inflatable Office. They're gonna kill me for saying that, but honestly, whoever got me first, I probably would have went with them, because between those two, they were great. And then BCN came out of like nowhere this year, and then
let's talk about the ones that are geared heavily marketed to bounce house companies since you're a bounce house channel.
Well, I'm not a bounce house channel. We're a,
I know.
we do everything. But I hear what you're saying.
We're gonna split it right now. We're gonna talk about those ones, and then we'll get into the other ones.
Yeah, I hear you. Well, what I was trying to say is there's just so many software companies. That's why we did this poll, in the group, and that's what I was bringing attention to. Right. Show you real quick. So we got this poll here, and this is in the Party Rental Knowledge group. If you're not in it, get in it. Let's see. All these right here. ERS, 114 votes. Event Office, 59. BCN, 59 right now. Point of Rental, 6. Good Shuffle, 6. Bookable, 4. Another inflatable office for some reason. Rentmaster, Bounce Rental Solutions. You got old pen and notebook. You probably got 30 emails in your inbox right now. Intelligent, PCS, Joyce, Check Jerry.
Those last 3 I never heard of.
Check Cherry. I'm pretty sure Lee does a bunch of videos on Check Cherry and uses Check Cherry.
Okay. No, for a lot of people out there watching, you probably not have even heard of Point of Rental. POR is what people call it. That is the Lamborghini of software. It is the most expensive. It does the most. The biggest companies that make millions of dollars have it. I mean, medium-sized companies do as well. But generally, whenever I go visit a big company, they're just using Point of Rental, and that's it. It's not for me. It's not for most people, but it is the biggest one out there. So when you become a huge company, whether you're in bounce houses or tents, you're probably going to be switching to Point of Rental at some point. Switching programs is a nightmare.
I don't know about that though. I'm gonna have to disagree with that. There's so many companies I know that use ERS and inflatable office that are huge, and then I also have learned that there's companies that use BCN that own 20 companies in Australia.
Okay,
so you can literally software. In my opinion, I'm just gonna say it's not. You can go down any route you want, and it's all based off who you are as a person and your skills and what you want to do, what your skill sets are, what your time sets are, what your requirements are, what your style is. Right. That's kind of that's literally what from somebody who's been sitting here and analyzing all of this, even though I have ERS, believe me, I'm contemplating on using other software for another company or in the niche and separating myself just to learn more about the software to bring more information for you guys. But believe me, when I listen to all the stuff that's going on. I'm in all the same groups as all of them. They all have their own groups. ERS has their own user group. Inflatable Office has a user group. So does BCN. I'm not in the other ones or anything, but I'm in those 3. And I listen to everything that's going on. I like to hear who has what. And I also see a lot of the fact that they're all competing against each other means they're all developing their software at the same time. They're all making sure it's the best, and they're all, you know what I mean? If one comes out with a system, the other one's going to try and do it. So it's very, very, I love it. It keeps the industry healthy. If I didn't have ERS, I'd probably have inflatable office.
Right. One thing I want to say to people is it's kind of a pain to change rental programs 5, 6, 7 years in. Basically, right now I got 300 orders for this coming year. If I decided to change rental programs right now, first I'd have to build out all my inventory, and then I'd have to go import those 300 orders into the new rental program. Or you could do a slow phase out where you're paying kind of for both, and new orders come in and you just don't book any other orders. But no, that won't work either because you got to keep track of your inventory. So it is a pain. So what you want to do is you want to go demo all of them. Anyone that you're interested in, demo all of them, because once you decide what you're going to do, you're probably going to be with it for a long time.
Tell me how you really feel. And then honestly, it's not a ripoff because there's people that will probably do it on the actual on on the sites. If you go look in like Party Rental Knowledge Group and say you're looking to get into ERS, there's people that would hook you up and actually just do it for you just for the affiliate fee. I'm not going to lie, but that's besides the point. IO, they'll set you up to, I've heard. BCN does it basically that's what they do is they set people up and they manage pretty much everything. I'm actually trying to talk to Bookable because they just hit me up, and maybe we'll see something about them too because I have no clue about them. I know Les does some information. You did a video with them not too long ago, last year or something.
I did. I don't think so.
Not Bookable?
No, I did Good Shuffle Pro and Event Office.
Oh, maybe it's Good Shuffle Pro. I get those two confused, honestly. That's what it was, Good Shuffle Pro.
Yeah, I haven't seen much about Bookable, but I hear it's good.
Yeah, I hear it's decent, honestly. I'm hearing about them. I don't really know about it. I haven't heard too many bad things.
So everyone, I know it's like kind of like daunting to be like, I got to spend all this money on a rental program, whether it's one time or per month. But really, it's going to cut down on your overbookings, and overbookings can be stressful and more expensive in the long run. They can help you grow painfully because you're buying things or subrenting things. It's going to, depending on what program you use, it's going to save you time. Depending on what you're having in your inventory, if you're not doing certain complicated events, they could just book entirely everything online. And then it cuts out like your need for an office person. You would just, do a courtesy phone call, just to let them know there was a real human that saw their stuff. Makes payments easy. A lot of these have an integrated website where it will make the website with you, right? ERS.
They have where they make the website with you. BCN will do it pretty much for you. IO, they have like a free website, I think, under 10 items. So it's like there's all kinds of different tent wax event rentals. At what point would you suggest jumping into one of these rental programs? I just use Google Calendars and send a manual invoice every order. Keep track of my inventory in Excel. What do you own? Like what do you have in your inventory, and are you just doing it on the weekends? Because it depends. What I say the time to get it as soon as you can manage it and afford it, even if you're a small company. Because I started with 5 inflatables and then I went and got a freaking a software company, and because I knew it was. Listen, I'm 25. I understand. I'm on my phone 24/7. Like, websites are the thing of the future. I started during COVID. Like, if you didn't have, I listen to a lot of online marketing. If you don't have a website right now, you're insane. Like, so at least have some type of marketing. You definitely want to have a Google My Business, and you definitely want to have a Facebook, and you should have all those other forms of social media, and you could sell off that to start. And as soon as you can afford it, go and get your software, because then you can online booking. That's, you know what I mean? To Adam's a tent guy. If there's certain things you don't want to book online, okay? There's certain things you don't want to book online. You don't want to book a 40 by 100 tent online and let them just pick everything out, because people don't know what they're buying. They don't know what they're renting. Like, that's not the thing that you put on there. But if you want somebody to be able to rent a bounce house, a whole package, you can definitely put it in there and upcharge them and have a whole system ready to go. Is this real life? I don't know who said that, but it is.
Based on what the next comment down, based on what he says he has, I would say no, you don't. I managed a 40 wide, bunch of 20 wides, 30 wides, about 600 chairs, 50 tables. I managed all that in Excel for a long time. But if you want to boil it down to an easy answer, I'd say once you cross the milestone of having to spend $5,000 or $6,000 on stuff that you accidentally overbooked because you couldn't keep track of it, and you had to go out and spend $5,000 or $6,000 over a year, 2 years, whatever it is. Once you reach that, I'd say it's about time to get a rental program, because doing it in Excel or a calendar or a notebook isn't cutting it anymore. You're overbooking too much. But I liked overbooking my first 6-7 years, because it got me to the point where I was. It forced me. So you could just continue to overbook. But I'd say once you reach set a number in your head, like once I reach $3,000 in accidental overbookings of stuff I have to buy, then it might be time to get a rental program.
See, how do you set that number in your head? In my opinion, go look at all these software companies, find out what works for you, what angle you could, find out what it's going to cost you to go ahead and do it, and then figure out what that number is and see what you can achieve that number. That's how you really figure it out. And then here's another tidbit that I want to put into it. Everybody, like, how much inventory, how much money do you have in your inventory, Adam?
I have no idea. I've never $1 million. I don't know. I never counted it.
What? So definitely over 500,000?
I'd say it's close to $1 million.
Okay. And how much is your website worth?
I got really lucky with my website. It would have been a $7,000 website. However, my friend
$7,000 website for $1 million worth of equipment.
My friend got a website built, and he's in a whole different market than me. And he just referred me to his website lady, and I was like, "Yo, just copy that, change the colors, change these pictures." So she didn't have to do any coding or whatever, and she just gave it to me for I think $3. And then we did another rental company that was only dealing with dishes, and I copied it again, different colors, different theme, and then I got it for $750. So I got a $7,000 website really cheap for toys.
So that's kind of what I'm trying to say here. You're prime example. I would have so much more money into my website because that's what moves and literally handles and books everything. But like I said, you can't really do too much on your end. You have to, no matter what, you have to pay somebody. Adam does tents. He's not a bounce house guy. So he doesn't, you know what I mean? He has to have somebody managing and putting the orders and doing quotes. That system, you make more money in a quoting system. Most tent companies are doing quoting systems for a reason. They may have some online booking things. For subreddings, they have a whole bounce house side that has online booking. That's a whole nother story. Adam is strictly tents and stuff like that. If you had online booking for your, you have online booking for Airbnb. You know what I mean? If you had online booking for your horse trailer and other stuff, you should actually look into some of these programs for that. But that's it. If you're going to make all this money, you have hundreds of thousands of dollars in equipment, but you're worried about spending $2,000 on a website.
Right.
That's what bothers me, people. I'm not. You know what I mean, that's my little rant there.
One thing I want to say about a rental program, if you're doing it in Google and whatever, the rental programs, it's just a button. It's just a button, and you send them their quote. If you need to change something, it's just another button. It's like super fast. My problem when I was doing it in Excel was I had to change a lot, then export it to a PDF, then open an email and attach an attachment and stuff like that. I'm sure there's some easier ways to do it now, but it's a longer process. Me changing I can change an entire order, everything on the order. I can change the date. I can change everything all within like 30 seconds. But a good thing about it is all these programs, you can set reminders. And someone huge in the business, the guy who sells tent axes, for anyone who knows what a tent axe, he said that when he owned a tent company, he was more expensive than everyone. The reason why he got more jobs than anyone in his area was because he set reminders he made a quote. 2 weeks later, he would just message them and just follow up. And he said that, I forget his wording, but he goes, the people who get the jobs are the ones who are in the customer's mind. So when you follow up 2 weeks later, even if you're more expensive, you're probably going to get the job because you're in their mind. And these rental programs make it really easy to follow up and send that quick email. Some of them might even be automated. Yeah,
the Event Hawk, you can add that to almost any of the softwares that we basically just mentioned tonight, and that is a follow-up thing that sends out a text message after 5 minutes after they fill out the coupon after they're on your site. So it just sends them after 5 minutes. Boom, hey, here, you interested in booking? We saw it, you know what I mean? Blah, blah, blah. And you seal the deal that way, and you think, oh, well, they're texting you. People rather text than call most of the time. I hear it all the time. Text me, text me, text me. People just say text me. A lot of people go on Facebook, and they'll go right there and actually message you on there because they don't want the contact. Yes, those type of interactions are more distant, which means they have less commitment, which means they're like, you know what I mean? So they're okay with walking away more. Where if you have them on the phone or if you're face to face and they're saying yes, they're probably going to say yes instead of backing out.
Right. Another good thing about having the rental program is I can be on the phone, taking their information, putting it all in. And as I'm on the phone with them, I can send them the quote and they say, well, when are you going to send me the quote? And I say, I just sent it to you. And then they're like, wow, that was crazy. Doing it by pen and paper or on an Excel or on a notepad or in Google Calendars, can't really do that. You're gonna have to get off the phone with them, then you're gonna have to build the thing and then send it. I can get back to people within seconds after they get off the phone, or most of the time while they're on the phone.
Yeah, and a lot of these companies like IO, they can run your phone for you. That's what they were saying. There's other companies that they do phone stuff. From what I've heard, IO has the best phone, like the best phone software, like the best like integration with phones. And I use ERS, and I'll tell you that. But then like EventHawk, like that's pretty sick too. But it's like an automatic texting system, and I'm almost like it can only be so long before other things happen, like where somebody else comes up with the same software. But Tariq's an awesome person. Does great ads as well for like Google AdWords and Facebook ads, and he's actually doing a bunch of videos and helping people out too. So definitely shout out for Tariq too and EventHawk. And like honestly, all the software companies care. Okay, like you know what I mean? They're out here to make money.
But in order to make money, they have to listen to you and everyone.
Like they seriously,
that's possible.
Believe me, I get in their ears too. Like you know, there's certain things, you know what I mean, that just you always want to treat the customer right. Like I'm out here, I'm on YouTube, I'm taking sponsors now. I'm trying to make some money, but I'm not going to do it at the cost of the viewer. Like there's a reason I'm doing this. I started doing this because I got kicked out of a Facebook group because I tried helping people. Like there's no way in hell that, you know what I mean, I'm going to be selling out per se. Believe me, when I want to take some money and put it more into the viewer experience. Notice we're not lagging like crazy tonight because I got hardwired in and I got a little bit new system in here. I took it out of my own pocket before I take the sponsors.
What's the name of this live tonight? Are we just talking about rental programs or software?
The every Tuesday I'm trying to have it as the after party.
Okay,
and then, but the live is just about software. So.
Let's get off rental programs for a second. I want to talk about layout programs. Now, there's some free ones that you can go to a website and do a layout for a tent. They're not that great. They kind of suck. There's this rental program called, this layout program called Party CAD. It was made by this guy, Hank Huffnagel. He must have been a programmer in CAD. He just made this CAD exactly just for tents. It has major manufacturers' tents in there. It has all sizes. You can customize sizes. It has little people in there. You can be on site and take a picture of the people's area and then go back and put a tent in that picture so they can kind of see what it looks like, you know, at their house. It's not that expensive. And what it's really good for is your office people don't ever go out on a job. They don't know what fits in what size tent. So my office guy, I gave him 1 day of training and he didn't know how many people fit in a tent. He can go into Party CAD. He can lay out a 150 person wedding and be like, oh, it doesn't fit in this size tent. Let me change this tent out for a bigger one. And then he can get everything where it needs to go. And then he can send that off to the customer. And then the customer can see like, oh, this is my wedding. This is what my wedding could look like. It helps sell and it helps your office people get them in the right size tent.
And even to add to that too, I've seen that used for inflatables too. You can create your own images. Like you can create a circle that's a certain circumference for those big circle inflatables or squares that are the size of an inflatable, and you put it in like a gym or stuff like that. You can actually space out an event like doing the same program. So it is used for the inflatable industry as well. It's not just a tent thing. Right. You can use it for chairs, spacing out chairs for graduation. But this is a very good question. Follow-up topic. I follow up 48 hours after a quote. Should I be waiting longer? Is this too soon and almost annoying? Sometimes it works. Sometimes the person just doesn't respond.
I'm just going to go big.
There's times that people don't even respond in general, like all the texts that I put out. But the thing is, I think 48 hours isn't that bad. Maybe even Like I would even 24 hours, you know what I mean? Like I would test that out more, and I would ask around for sure. But it's whoever contacts and talks to the person the fastest seals it. Like if you whoever gets the quote first and the most efficient normally gets it. But what were you talking about, buddy?
Basically, the biggest guys in the industry told me 2 weeks. I have to rephrase what he said. He said, whoever talks to the customer last. So if you follow up 48 hours later and someone else has a policy of a week later, then you're not last, they're last. But you're going to risk something. Some people may make a decision in 48 hours. Some people may make a decision in a week. I find that most of my weddings take a week and a half, 2 weeks, 3 weeks to decide. During this time right now, because we're basically got 3 times the volume of weddings happening this year, intense. 1, because of cancellations last year, 2, because normal events this year, and 3, because I'm in New York State and people don't want to book an event venue because they think Cuomo can just cancel on them the week before their wedding. So I got 3 times the amount of tent weddings happening. So I'm getting people to decide basically by the end of the day, because I'm telling them like it may not be here tomorrow. But in general, I would say 2 weeks is a good follow-up time frame, depending on what you're doing. If it's a bounce house and with tent tables, I'd say 2 days is good. If it's like a graduation party, a week. If it's a wedding, I'd say 2 weeks is good.
I agree with that. Yeah, tented jobs 2 weeks, because nobody wants a tent. Okay, I rephrase that. They call me for tents for that weekend all the time, and I have to tell them no. But can I get a tent in a bounce house? Because I see they can't, you know, but then they want it like that weekend. They'll call me that day. Oh, can I get this, that, and the third? And it's like, listen, you can get about half that. Because you know what I mean? Like, there's no way I can't get a tent. I could probably squeeze a bounce house in, but there's no way I'm squeezing a tent in last minute like that. I'm sorry. So yeah, if you're in the chat right now, you're watching, why don't you drop in what program you use? Because I'm curious. I want to know.
Yeah, curious. And even if you're not using a program,
and definitely check out. Oh, I'm sorry.
If you're not using a program, give a short description on like how you do things like Notepad, Google Calendar, Excel, or whatever.
Or if you're new. But no, definitely check out that poll and add to that poll too. It's in the Facebook group, because I want to build that up a little bit more and see if we can get some cool data in there. Because what it does is it shows what's in the group. Really, it doesn't really show what's really out there, but it could be relative what's happening outside as well.
Yeah. Hey, share my screen real quick.
Okay. Keep it PG.
Yeah, this is Party Cat.
I know. You didn't pull it up yet.
Yeah, it's up.
Yeah. No, it's not on my screen. You got to hit the share button.
Oh, gotcha.
Oh.
There we go. All right, let me get over to it. All right, can you see it? Just that thing alone?
Yep.
This is Party CAD, so it gives you an overhead look. It gives you an inside look where you can change the camera angle however you want. Then it gets you kind of another overhead look, but just kind of like showing you the structure of the tent and everything. And you can right-click into the main overhead look and start rearranging these tables and building things. And so there's settings for the tables to have place settings on there. Less chairs, more chairs. If you have a specific item that you have, like I have specific farm tables, which are 40 inches wide. So I made those. I made them in the program so that I could know exactly how they're going to fit in a tent. I think this is a very powerful thing for your office people, so they know that they're getting them in the right thing. This is also a very powerful program for selling. Most companies are not going to be sending the customer sample layouts. I don't send a layout custom for each person, because what happens is 2 days later is that they say, oh, can you move this table 4 feet? Can you do this? Can you do that? I just have made hundreds of samples of various setups and send it to them and say, hey, I send them like 5 samples and say, hey, this is just samples. This is what your wedding could look like. This is just to show you that everything will fit. But most other companies are not sending people these things. And this is a highly effective sales tool. But I like it, even for being a sales tool, I like it even more for my office guy who knows nothing about what fits in a tent because he's never set one up. he can make sure that everyone gets exactly what they need, and we're not going to have to go back and change out the tent, or the customer's not going to be mad. We've never had a customer be mad because the tent was too small, because the office guy knew exactly what was going to fit in there. All right, you can unshare me.
Fancy.
So for everyone, if you didn't catch it, that program is called Party CAD. Oh my God, I got to turn off my volume.
So P Orchard's gonna hire me as their secretary. Excel and Apple Calendars website has an online rental agreement, but no reservations. Listen, get something industry specific. Check out some of all the stuff like this person. No software yet. Still trying to decide which best to go with. Both of you, go do a bunch of demos. Do demos with all of them. It's free. They want your money. They want you to go try them out. They want to see what works for you. Go check them out and choose one of them. It's going to help you. If you don't have the money, don't go into it. If you don't have the time to do certain stuff that is required to go into it, don't do it, because I actually had ERS for a year before I actually I'm about done with getting my site up and running and getting it ready, and it was live for a year, just basically as a picture. And I ranked nationally for my name, whatever. But seriously, don't sleep on software. You know what I mean? Like, definitely, if you're just starting out and you're seeing if this business is even for you in general, don't go buy a $3,000 rental program or something. Like, figure out, see if you want to hump water slides around, or if you want to move tents around before you go do that. But if you think you're going to be doing this for a while, go check out some software for sure. That's definitely the move. We got Ishmael laughing. Ishmael's got a channel. He'll actually look at your website and roast it, but he'll record it and tell you pretty much everything you should be doing and all the little things you're messing up on, basically. Is Party CAD a one-time purchase or monthly subscription?
It's a one-time purchase, and if you get Party CAD 12, when Party CAD 13 comes out, it's a free upgrade. You bought it the one time, that's it. You're just supported.
How much? You know?
I don't know. I bought it a while ago. I don't know what it is. It wasn't that much, $400 or $500. To anyone though who's not currently a Patreon of, I'm gonna plug myself for a second. My Patreon, I have built a ton of sample diagrams without my logo or anyone's logo on them. There's a white spot. You could go on my Patreon for $3 a month, just for 1 month. Download all the things that I have on there, and then put your own logo in that corner where I left it blank. I built sample diagrams for most sizes of tents.
This is weird.
If you've got Party as well now. Okay, well, so PRO Point of Rental has bought. So Hank Huffnagel built it. He died a few years ago from a heart attack or something. I actually was having trouble with it, and I called him. I called his cell phone, and he answered all my questions for about 5 minutes, and then afterwards he goes, "Don't call me again." And I was like, "Why?" He goes, "Because I'm in the hospital dying." And I was like, "You didn't have to take my phone call. I appreciate it." So even on his deathbed, he was still answering questions. But anyways, Point of Rental has. Oh my
God, dude, that's wild.
Yeah, it was wild. So Point of Rental has bought Party CAD. So I actually don't. I'm speaking out of turn. Back then it was just buy once. It might be monthly now. I don't know. I'll have to check it out. I should get Party CAD, the people who are running it, to come on the channel.
Yeah, that's actually
wild. Yeah. Go to Travis. Travis has a perfect thing. And I tell people to do this all the time.
He says monthly for 30 days.
Travis, the last comment.
Yeah.
Travis Wahlberg. Okay.
No, I see it.
Everyone.
I was on the other thing.
Gotcha. Everyone, you can download Party CAD for free for 30 days and just spend those 30 days every single night make a 20 by 20 with 4 rounds, 6 banquet tables, 3 banquet tables and a dance floor. Make a 40 by 40 with 8 rounds, a dance floor and a DJ, 12 banquet tables. Just make every single thing you could do. Make a wedding setup, make 10 different wedding setups with a dance floor here, dance floor there, blah, blah, blah. Make a graduation setup, make like a speech setup with a stage and everyone watching, make a ceremony setup, make every single thing that could ever go under any size tent, and just repeat that over and over, 20 by 20, 20 by 30, 20 by 40, 20 by 60, just keep going. And then you have all those samples and you got them for free because your 30-day thing will expire, but you made 150 different party cats that you can just send to people.
Or you go into Adam's freaking Patreon, you spend like $3 and download them all and get out of there.
Yeah, if you want, I'll make a custom one for you, but you got to sign up for the $12 tier. I don't normally push Patreon. I don't like to. I'm very shy with asking for money. I just
know that you have a whole bunch of them on there. You can just grab real quick if you don't have the time to make them. People will literally spend the $3 to go in there and grab them real quick. Like,
yeah, I also have
marketing
rental contract you can download. And
yeah, you got some stuff. He's a tent guy though, so he's not a bounce house guy. He doesn't have foam machines or anything crazy like that. So it might, you know what I mean? But you could play around with it. It's good information. I'm on the verge of building a website. I'm trying to build a resource because listen, we're you know what I mean? He knows a lot of stuff. I know a lot of stuff. I don't want to be called a guru. I don't want to be called an expert. I'm just a guy with a camera and a microphone. I'm not out here to, you know what I mean, do that. I like to bring lots of different perspectives and show everybody everything so they can make their own decisions. I don't want to be sitting here like, oh, this is the best way to do it because I don't own a party rental company in 50 states. In all 50 states, it's different. It's different.
Yeah, each state is different, especially for bounce houses, the codes you got to follow.
Even tents are different. Like party rentals, laws are different. It's just so different that I don't understand how, like, you know what I mean? Like some people like, oh, that won't work for me. And that's the type of stuff I want to hear. So I know that it won't work for you, but I don't want to just hear it doesn't work for you. I want to know why it doesn't work for you. And I want to know where you're from and why, you know what I mean? Because it's probably a whole area specific thing. Like there's certain areas of the company, like everybody knows, like, oh, I wish I could. Yeah, everybody hears this. I wish I could charge that much because your area is different. You can't charge that much. It's just, you know what I mean? Some areas are shot, some areas aren't.
I got a question for anyone who's watching. Right now, we talked about rental programs and we talked about PartyCAD. Are there any programs that you are using that aren't necessarily a rental program or a layout program, something that you're using in your business to make it go easier? Something that I can't even think of or fathom.
I can answer that right now, dude. I use Canva, and I'm doing all these fancy freaking edit like all the photos and stuff for my thumbnails. I started using Canva to do thumbnails, and then I did my whole entire site. I did all the photos and images on there, and I drop random images in Facebook for the users. And then I actually do my Facebook ads and my Google ads and all that stuff. I can just literally make my own stuff like that. So it's helped me tremendously, and it's actually it's a skill. You know what I mean? I'm developing it over just messing with it. I use it for my rental business software. It's $14 a month. I use Canva Pro. And it's basically got a background remover. That's pretty much the only reason I paid for it. And its library of really, really good images. You can upload images and everything to it too. I think I'm going to do a video, on because everybody keeps asking me about it. And so I think I'm going to do a video on Canva.
So a Facebook user says they use Wave. And I just looked it up. It's an accounting software. So yeah, obviously at the end of the year, there's accounting. A lot of these programs, you can just export all your sales and everything to QuickBooks. Generally, they support QuickBooks. You can also export it to Excel and stuff. And then from Excel, then you can import it to parts to accounting programs that don't supported by whatever program. But most of these programs support QuickBooks, so you can just easily shoot everything over. Now that could be tricky because there might be some jobs in there that you did some cash and you don't want them reported over there. But generally you can, go through and edit that. But all these programs you can export to QuickBooks, and then obviously you got to keep track of your expenses too and your payroll and stuff. And so an accounting program is very useful as well for end of the year.
Facebook Business Suite for reservations. I haven't used that, but I heard like you can have your Facebook shop after a certain amount of users. You can integrate your ERS, I'm pretty sure, to Facebook. There's a way to do that. And I'm sure IO can do it. Don't quote me if they can't, because I'm not an IO user. And I'm sure BCN can. If they can't, they can probably do something. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. But all I know is that ERS can do it. If you have a certain amount of users on Facebook, they can integrate the store. If you have a certain amount of users on Twitter, you can also have a store, an online store, and it goes right to your website, integrates to the actual products, and then they can go to that product. So I think that's really, really awesome. As you know, I'm a very big fan of social media, so I think that's very, very useful, especially if you start integrating it to your websites in that way. P. Orchard with the sarcastic comment as usual, but I got a really good answer to this one. Do you deliver to Canada, or does Canadian companies deliver to Buffalo? Most really don't, actually. That's the thing, because of the insurance. The insurance doesn't cross over. Like if I drive my car to in Canada, like I have to try and get like Canadian insurance for a day, or else like if I get like in an accident, it's not covered. It's a big thing. They don't really. It's not international coverage, and it's the same thing with your rentals. They like. I don't know if Alex is in here. He likes to hide sometimes. But if Alex Costa's in here, or if he sees this later, he can comment. But they don't insure going to Canada, because you know what I mean, because they don't. It's not a cross country thing. So the answer is no. Have I heard of companies doing it? Yes. The only companies I really hear of having cross country insurance are trucking companies or some crazy weird event companies, and most of them have to do with like what you call it stuff, the stagehand stuff.
Right. Yeah, I don't think anyone's going cross border for a bounce house party. Maybe a corporate event, like a big giant corporate event.
Yeah, it has to be big. Yo, you want to hear something crazy for events? This is a little bit off topic, but great. I love the Facebook group. I love all the information everybody comes in. I love all the thoughts people and all the questions. This was sweet. Somebody asked, like, where do you get the drones and doing the drone flyings and stuff like that, and the drone events, like a drone show? And that was very interesting. They're like, Intel was like, it's like $100K a year or $100K for an event minimum to do like the Intel drone show. I thought that was pretty wild. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, so drones that are all like linked together and they like have lights and they do something cool.
Yeah, they look like they can do different shapes. There was a Christmas one. I'm trying to see if Les wants to hop on right now. He just messaged me. Oh, I feel like a YouTuber, guys, because it's funny. They'd be doing this all the time in the stuff that I watch all the time. Oh well, I'll drop the link in the chat, boys. No, I'm just kidding.
Hey, someone left a comment. He didn't throw it up yet. Adam, heavy on the pints, hey bud. Yeah, this is my third one, and I have a video after this at 9:30. It's a startup company. Basically, it's someone who would have been a Patreon of mine, but instead we're just doing a discussion on live. So hopefully people will tune into that, and I'm going to answer the questions and try to lead them in the right direction for their startup. But it would be useful to have some people having different points of views to give these guys who know nothing. They literally know nothing. They're just getting into the tent business. So if you guys want to join that at 9:30, we can all help these dudes out. I got a story of these dudes who just became my patrons. They're in North Carolina. So I don't know if you guys saw the thing where I had the event guy on from, he sells a bunch of giant bounce houses and stuff, interactives. He said he had trailer loads of bounce houses that he was just going to get rid of because he was done with bounce houses. He just does the huge corporate events. So these guys were watching. They called him, and he was in fact going to give them away for free. So they flew from North Carolina to California. They got 29 interactive things and bounce houses. They said if they set them all up, it's the size of a soccer field. He gave it to them all for free, and he spent 49 hours training them. He gave them a van, a bunch of staging, and a bunch of lighting, all on a zero-interest loan. He just signed the title and gave them the van or the truck, like a 16-foot box truck. That he just gave it to him, and pay me once you start making money. So these dudes got 29 of these high-end things that they're going to rent out. It's just cool. Like this, they found me, then they found this dude, and that's why I do it. I do it for all the, just help them pay it forward. I told them if they ever become millionaires, they got to take me to Hawaii or something.
And they're just watching it on they're just watching it in the Facebook group.
The YouTube channel.
Which one? Yours or mine?
Yeah, mine.
Okay.
It was that
the power of YouTube.
Yeah.
Hi from Metroplex.
She's a patron of mine. I talk to her often.
Oh man, I show my face. Listen, I'm so busy. If I could, we went to California, and I love driving. Just the fact driving cross country, but the deal these people had. I was sitting there watching them. I'm like, I want to call them. Should I call them? No, I got a good thing going. I'm working. I'm doing my thing. I can't stop doing videos for you guys. They'll interfere with my YouTube life and I have a very strict plan. I'm going forward. I can't, and I've been working on my website like crazy. I don't have the time to go do a cross country road trip, but
right.
Yeah, I wish I called.
I think everyone kind of already said what other programs they use. They use Wave, they use Facebook Business. But if anyone else is using any other thing to help your business, please let me know because I'd like to check it out as well. I'm always about trying to make things faster and more efficient and just easier.
That's the whole reason the channels, man, is to help everybody become faster and more efficient.
I do have a suggestion for building a website. I know it's not like a popular thing to say, but Squarespace. If you build your website in Squarespace, it's going to be easy to build. No, hold on. Hear me out, Justin. It's easy to build. It's good for a tent rental company, at least. Now, the bounce house side, yes, they have integrated everything. So, like, if you're just strictly bounce houses and small tents, I'd say go with the websites that ERS or Inflatable Office or Book or what's the other one? Bounce Castle Network can build with you and for you. But if you're on the tent side and stuff, I'd say you can build your website in Wix. It's fairly cheap. It's actually really easy. And you can just change things on the fly. You can go on an app and just change things easily and just see your website and get I think you can get quotes directly from it. It's cheap and it's easy. You don't need to spend $7,000 on your startup website. Yeah, as you get huge and you want to like showcase more things and you want to look more professional, you can. But I think Squarespace websites look really professional. I made my Airbnb website on Squarespace.
It's hard, man. It's a little bit different. If you got like maybe like 5 things, maybe if you're just playing with 5, like it's just not scalable. And it doesn't have a reputation for SEO. Carlos,
okay,
he uses Good Shuffle. I'm not an SEO guy. I can't confirm that. I'm just pulling that up there because I'm not down for Squarespace, so I was definitely using that to go against it. I just hear bad things, man. I know it's not like it's money. You know what I mean? If I tell you, like, it's not, because the way I hear it, Squarespace is selling and we are renting. That's the thing.
Yeah, but my point is you don't have a bunch of money to start a website or the expertise to do one in WordPress or something else. So like
go on your Google My Business. Your Google My Business is even more important. You can actually have you can have your whole, listen, I'm telling you, if you spent more time on that.
That's a substitute for adds to it. If you spend, what is it, $20 a month, you can have a decent website to start off with. You can always change it later. but at least
You
you're
can build
hitting the
your own
ground
word.
running.
It's like you can build your own WordPress words website and put Squarespace on it. That's what you're basically saying, right? Actually I never used Squarespace, but like, or is that the Square or whatever? I've heard bad things about Squarespace, but I'm talking about even the WordPress websites. They're not as good as any of these softwares that are specific for the rental industry. Some of them are extremely affordable if you're starting out. Like if I was just starting out, I probably would go with BCN for like 2 years if I was just doing it on the weekend, or if I was just doing it during the week. And then that could be even changing too, because BCN is not playing around. They're trying, you know what I mean? They're not from this area. They're not from this market, but they're coming in like, listen, we know we're not from your market, but we're going to make it so we are competitive with your market. And if your market's better, because listen, I don't know, but I'm going to find out. But I think the party rental industry in the U.S. is insane compared to other places in the world. I could be wrong, but we are the home of all these crazy theme parks and all this stuff. And you know what I mean? Like, who had a Disneyland first, us or Japan? That's all I got to say. So, in my opinion, like, you know what I mean? We have something to show. But actually, but before I even get into all that stuff, screw out what I was even saying. I lost my train of thought.
Can you throw up
Carlos's software? No.
Can you throw
I'm waiting.
Carlos's
comment? No. Because we have a surprise guest here. He messaged me. I was like, yo, he's like, oh, we got to go on one of these days. I'm actually trying to get all the YouTubers on and together. But then I was like, listen, come on for 5 minutes. Get on here. Hop in here.
Stay like this.
Drop some. Yeah. Right. Let's do it. Let's do head moment.
Les, I like you better when you have a messy face and messy hair. I don't like this look.
Well, my wife did this to me. Like it was free,
okay.
But
all right, that makes
sense. She couldn't take it anymore.
So what you use Good Shuffle?
Yeah, although I don't know, like I'm not completely loyal to them, you know, like they haven't given me as much love as I deserve.
Yeah, I know you've tried out. You had Bookable too. You tried Bookable, or did you try to Check Cherry? Somebody dropped Check Cherry in that. No, so like I didn't set you up for that thing at all. You just dropped that in there. Like I made you a mod so you can start like coming in the group and dropping information and do different things that a mod can do that other people can't. And like you dropped that. I didn't know about that poll, and it kind of stirred the pot. So I'm stirring the pot a little bit with this video because I really want people to, like, this conversation need to happen, in my opinion. Like people need to hear the ins and outs of software, all the different things, a little bit different perspectives, and there's even more perspectives than that because there's more people than just us. And we have, like, even in this room, we're not even a quarter of all the rental softwares out there.
Yeah, I have a thing to add about rental.
Okay. There's a lot of small ones too. I noticed, like Chuck Cherry's a small one. Lee's a fan of Chuck Cherry. I think he used it for a bit, but I think he's on Bookable now. Bookable is more like broad though. Like it's not just for event rentals. Like I think they're trying to be more general. So they might be bigger than they seem because they have a lot of non-rental companies. They do like pure sales as well. But which is why maybe it's not the best choice if you're doing, but they have a good shopping cart system. So if you want a kind of shopping cart style, you know, Bookable's not bad in that regard. We're using Bookable for one of our side gigs, and yeah, it's okay.
You got another side gig?
There's always a side gig.
What's your new side gig?
Well, you know, like the signs, for example, right? Like we rent those portable signs, but it doesn't apply to every city. I know a lot of places like you can't rent those out. So I mean, you can't put them on the street, right? So, but you can in a bunch of places in Canada. Not every place, but it's like municipal rules, I guess. I think in the States it's a no-go for those things. I'm not sure.
Yeah. I like watching you because you give me all these business ideas. Like I was gonna try to start a basket business because I saw you and I was like, I don't want to go source all this stuff.
No, don't do that. I didn't.
Hey, guys, I want to.
Go on. I'll let you talk.
I want to add. Sorry, I want to add one thing about the event rental software. You can build. I don't know what to call them. You can build sets for your guys who are loading trucks. Basically, I'll add a 20 by 20 to someone's order. When I send that 20 by 20 order to them, they only see the 20 by 20. But when I print out the loading sheet, it says I need 12 stakes, 12 caps. Don't forget the jackhammer. Don't forget that, it says everything that you would need for that tent on the loading sheet so that people do things. My free wides are sectional. So I don't want to just have in my program a 40 by 100 and a 40 by 80. I have them kind of sectioned, and the customer only sees it says 40 by 100, but my loading crew sees 2 ends, 3 mids, and then 48 poles, 62 stakes, this and that and that. So it's going to cut. These rental programs can also cut down on the mistakes that you're going to have because you can build these sets of things. The customer only sees a set 40 by 100. Loading crew sees everything that they would possibly need to load in the truck, so they don't have to come back to the warehouse because they forgot something.
Yeah, I definitely. There's hidden programs in ERS. I'm not an expert with ERS whatsoever, but I know there's like hidden items. So like if they're, it doesn't go on the load, it doesn't go on that sheet, but the stakes and the sandbags and stuff like that, it definitely goes on the other ones. So it goes on a load sheet, but it doesn't go on the customer sheet when they book it. I know what you're saying. There's a bunch of different back end items like tarps. Don't forget a tarp. This is a wet unit. Blah blah blah. I think it comes. It very much comes in handy too, because then you can actually find out how many stakes you need for everything, because you won't be able to have everything out. Because if you don't have enough stakes, those systems won't let you have something out if you don't have the stakes enough to do it. So you probably want to buy some more stakes. Because if that's what's stopping you from renting a tent. Oh, sorry.
Right.
See, my computer's faster than yours now.
Yeah, it's because we got 3 people on. But if I think I do have enough stakes, but in the past I didn't. So if I was short 5 stakes, my computer program would tell me, and then I have to figure it out. If I was short 3 ratchets, the computer program would tell me. It does obviously take time to put all these things into your software, but it saves you a lot of money in the long run, a lot of headache, and a lot of last second trying to find these things, or try to do it half-assed and use orange ratchets or a piece of wood for stake or something.
Yeah, so programs are like, I was reading the comments there. Yeah, I mean, if you have no program and you're getting into a program, it's going to be a life changer. You definitely want some sort of program, like easy payment processing. It looks professional, so people are going to book stuff. And like, I think the top 4 or 5 programs are probably all good. There's little differences between them, but the one I use is almost perfect. Like, again, they don't all do everything. Some of them have like good like email templates. Some of them save the credit card. Like if it's not saving the credit card, that's a little annoying. I know I was using a program before called Wave. It's very general, but it wouldn't let you save the credit card unless the customer actually clicked save the credit card. But sometimes you really want to charge a freaking credit card, if you're otherwise you got to hunt the guy down, call him and be like, oh, please.
I just did a video on how to make 10% more money on your party rental company. And it's literally adding a damage waiver to your site and adding a damage waiver to your company in general. So
you dirty dirt.
Oh yeah. But then it's labeled how to save 10% of your rental company without doing nothing. Because all you got to do is go on your rental program and you have it set to it automatically switches over to yes. So literally when they go on there and they do it, it automatically says yes when they hit book and they're asking for the quote and they're asking for and they're actually getting they pay for everything. So it doesn't, they have to change it to Huh?
All right, so I said, don't be a dirtbag, Justin.
It's not a dirtbag.
So back when I was Back when I was starting, I did, ask a bunch of people this question about a damage waiver. And a lot of people were like, do not ever charge a damage waiver on your tent tables and chairs because most of the time they're never going to break. Only charge a damage waiver on the dishes, the glasses, the silverware, the things that are easily broken. Because yeah, you can make 10% on if you've got $1,000 tent, you can make an extra $100 by throwing in a damage waiver. But that tent's not going to break. That tent's most likely not going to fail. Branch isn't going to fall on it. I think it's kind of an unethical move. I only do a damage waiver, and in the program, I can say these things are on the damage waiver, these things are not. I only do a damage waiver on dishes and things like that. Don't be a dirtbag, Justin.
It's not a dirtbag move. It's an upsell. It's just, you know what I mean? It's recommended. I recommend it because, listen, it's just the thing to do. It's just you got to make more money. If you can make 10% more money on your rental company by doing nothing because you have to deal with all these stuff. Okay, this is my thing for it. I can either charge these customers a cleaning fee, okay, because they leave my bounce houses dirty no matter once, or I don't charge them at all and then charge them a damage waiver fee, and it just comes out of that for the year. Because I'm spending all this money cleaning it no matter what, but where's that money coming out of? My pocket, or I could have it come out of the damage waiver fee. Same thing with the random mud stains and the silly string random stains. Silly strings are almost a replace no matter what because they can get wild with those. But face paint, it sucks. There's all kinds of. The dog eats the back of the unit. Okay, that's what we got a damage waiver fee for. It is what it is.
Okay, you're taking a damage waiver.
If somebody comes and slices the side, no, I'll do it on a tent too, straight up. If somebody comes in and all the tables and chairs and the whole entire order on the order, I don't care what's on it. I don't got glass, and I don't got glasses either. So you call me dirty, but that, you know what I mean. I gotta replace these chairs. I gotta clean these chairs. These chairs are white, even though I charge more for white chairs in general. It's for time and cleaning. I just rather charge the damage. The same thing. You don't ever charge. You don't charge a person. You tell the person you're going to charge them if they don't clean the bounce house, but you don't charge them because why would you do that? Because they might rent 3 times. They have 5 kids. They might rent 5 times next year. You're going to ruin 5 birthday parties because you want to charge a customer $50 one time instead of trying to explain to them that don't do this again.
Right. So we got a Facebook. This guy's going off on me a little bit. He's not going to charge. So I think we're mixing up our words, damage waiver and stuff here. For you, it makes sense. Your damage waiver is covering you cleaning things, your muddy bounce houses. For me, the most expensive job I did was $40,000. If I had a 10% damage waiver on there, I'm going to make $4,000 that I know is not going to break. I know a dance floor is not breaking. I know a tent's not breaking. I collected maybe $200 in damage waiver on dishes. I know that's the stuff that goes missing, and that's the stuff that breaks. Like in the tent wedding side, damage waiver just means things are going to break easily, and the customer can replace all those dishes if they don't want to pay the damage waiver. But more likely, it saves them money by just getting the damage waiver on the things that can break. So I'm not meaning don't charge insurance or don't charge whatever. I'm just meaning if you're doing a $40,000 wedding and you're doing multiples of those every single weekend for the entire summer, it's kind of shady to me to just charge a 10% damage waiver on that wedding and make $4,000 on a tent that is not going to break. I know it's not going to, so why am I going to just try to get this customer for $4,000? So sorry to upset the guy.
It's how I'm going to. This is what I want to say real quick. You can't charge for insurance. Are you an insurance broker? You can't charge for insurance. So you shouldn't even be saying that, really. It's not insurance. It's a damage waiver. Don't ever say that this is damage insurance or anything like that. You're not charging your insurance. You're charging a damage waiver. And that goes into this question right here. Wouldn't that promote the customer not care? No, because that's intentional damage. If you intentionally go stab my bounce house, I'm going to intentionally charge you. It's I feel like you're more damage. Honestly, This is just to make more money, really, everybody. Like it covers costs and expenses. It's not there to rip people off. Justin likes to rip people off. Let's all pick on me now because I'm here to rip everybody off because I'm charging a damage waiver.
It's also
what's your damage waiver policy.
Yeah, it's also don't forget to if you are doing the damage waiver. I see actually Adams is a good strategy because then like the customer's like, oh yeah, that makes sense. And just I mean in my area, all the people charge just a general damage waiver. I think it's more like 7.5. I don't know. I would have to double check.
I've actually seen it different I've seen it range between 7.5 and 12%.
Yeah, exactly. And so in my area, everybody does like a general one. Not everybody, but the big ones do like one for all the items. But don't forget to put in your damage waiver if you have one. Yeah, it's not insurance. Don't put insurance because then you're in trouble in case someone gets hurt and it's like, well, you have this insurance waiver. It's like, no, that's the damage waiver. It's different. The other thing is, I have in my damage waiver doesn't cover lost items, okay, or which lost/stolen items. So they can't just be like, oh well, they're not here. And I suppose if there's a couple glasses missing, that's no big deal, whatever. But if something was like stolen, if like 5 tables were missing, it's like, no, sorry, you have to pay for those. That's not part of the damage waiver. So that's another thing we put in the damage waiver. We put does not cover lost/stolen items. So
I'm anti-damage waiver and everything because I know of one really scumbag company who regularly does $100,000 to $200,000 weddings, and they're charging 10%. You got a $200,000 wedding with a $20,000 damage waiver, and they know for a fact the tables aren't breaking, the dance floor is not breaking, just making $20,000. So knowing them put a bad taste in my mouth and charging damage waivers on anything that I know is not normally breaking. So charge damage waivers all you want, but just keep in mind, try to be a little ethical. If you know a dance floor is not going to break, guys, maybe don't charge the damage waiver on the dance floor. How often does the dance floor break? But let's get off of this. I want to ask Les a question about bounce houses because we're kind of on a bounce house channel. You getting into bounce houses ever?
They're not as popular in Canada. Like I haven't quantified it, but
they become extremely popular fast. Make them popular. Oh my god.
Okay. The other problem is like I was thinking to myself, like freaking heavy, like rolling those things and like drying those. Okay, rolling, drying, and then like if I'm already rolling a tent that's $1,000 to rent, why would I roll a freaking bounce house which is $275? That's what I was kind of thinking, Like I'm already dealing with a stupid, but hey, the tent brings in more per weight and time. That's what I'm thinking. Like, so hey, stick to tents. They're still super popular in my area. And hey, one day I'm not closed to bounce houses. It's just I think I still need more tents, and tents are good for the money. Especially Mario, Adam, you've seen the prices. You were like, oh man, you guys are charging way more for tents, and like it's true in Canada. Like for some reason we charge a lot for tents. There's less competition. So tents are like 30-40% more than they are for you guys, but that doesn't really apply to all items, just tents. So tents are a hot commodity here. They're well priced, and sorry, I'm reading these comments. They're hilarious. And so bounce houses, maybe one day, maybe I'll team up with someone. But
yeah, exactly. That's what I'm thinking too. If I do bounce houses, I'm not going to be a part of it. I'm just going to put the money in. Someone else is going to do it.
Okay.
Right. Yay! Oh, we got another person. There's Lee. So now it's going to go even slower. So that being all testy about the damage waiver, huh?
Yeah. Well, it's my way. Everyone around here is just charging out the butt for it. So why the heck would I do that when I'm trying to stand out? So
damage waiver.
Right. So you don't.
It's good. You don't
trust me. Damage waiver.
There's other ways to stand out.
Yeah, it makes money.
He doesn't yet. He will. Like
I will. I'm not there yet.
He will. Yeah.
Lee,
I'm hoping you'll be ethical And if you get 40 wide wedding and the wide's $2,000, I hope you're not going to just make $200 just because you know you can. You seem more ethical than that, Lee.
Oh, I'm not even going to charge any damage deposit. I haven't charged any yet for any
$1
bookings this year.
million.
I base
Yeah.
basically everything I do for my businesses from how you guys structured yours, and
Right.
I mean, so ethical is where it's at, and like getting the good stuff is where it's at, because that's the way that you guys taught me. So
Right.
More money,
I did.
better clean toys.
I think the damage waiver ethical thing comes in with the tent companies. Like I did a job with my friend. The job was $2 million. If he charged a damage waiver on that, it was a double-decker tent, and then huge tents on the side. If he charged a 10% damage waiver, he would have been making $200,000 on something that he knew was not going to break. He doesn't do that. He only does the damage waiver on the dishes and stuff. If someone ordered $2 million worth of dishes, yeah, he'll make $200,000 on a damage waiver, but just things you know that are not going to break, just don't charge a damage waiver on them. If people steal your table, charge them for it. But
this is Brian Jenkins. Brian Jenkins doesn't agree with you.
No,
Brian. If you don't know, Brian Jenkins is he owns Rental Innovations, great company. He answered on the chat or on the poll too, so he's on there. He big company, big guy, lots of tents. He doesn't agree with that, and so. He
Okay.
actually sold his company in and started like a company to actually provide products for the people in rental companies. Great dude.
Okay, this Brian guy. Okay, I've been trying to reach out to Brian. Brian, listen to me. Why you haven't replied to my emails? It's about the distribution in Canada. No, he talked on the phone and he was cool with it, but then he's like,
that's one way to get a hold of him.
Get Brian on the stream. Let's call him out.
What's going on here?
You want to hop onto Brian's room? So here we go. Oh wait, so I only charge DW on China. DW, what is DW?
That's Brian.
Damage deposit
Damage
on
waiver.
Cheaper tents. Damage waiver.
I think we're getting a little lost in this damage waiver thing. Like, you know, there's tents that can go for $350,000. Brian, would you charge a damage waiver on a double-decker tent that you know it's not going to fail?
They hold on a second.
You know,
they asked me. Wait a second, because they asked me this earlier and I forgot about it, so I feel bad. So I have to pull it up again because this is the second time they put this comment up. I don't know the answer to this question. Please ask Ali, and I'm pretty sure if there is, you can definitely get some sites pulled up for you. I know there's a lot of softwares that use both. You could definitely do a tent company with ERS. You could definitely do a tent company with IO. I wouldn't doubt it because I know there's like foam only part. Like there's all kind. There's like BCN sites that do only like caricatures and renting out like the assistants at parties, like balloon animals and magicians and stuff like that. So I don't know. Whatever you said wrong, Lee. What were you saying, buddy?
Well, okay. So I was at a wedding show this past weekend, and slanging tents and so forth, right? And one of my big things I said, because I think of it this way, is you charge a damage waiver, to make a little scratch off the top, but like I think it depends on what size your company is, whether you're trying to scratch off top. There's there's people who charge eco charges. There's people that charge damage deposits. When you're the little guy, I don't think you should charge the same as the big guy because your overhead's not the same. And you have to let customers know that. They'll support you more. And I don't think you have as much to worry about because you have less to manage at the same time. I don't feel it's right to charge a damage deposit when you're the little guy and your overhead's not some huge building and 50 trucks with a whole bunch of guys.
He's not ignoring you.
Right, I agree with that. Les, I hope that your prices are close though. Or Lee, I hope your prices are close to the bigger guys though, because you're just leaving money on the table otherwise. Because people will still rent from you if you're $10 cheaper.
And you have to invest in inventory more than the big guys. So they invest in operations and kind of keep, trucks and whatever, but you have to invest in inventory, especially if your growth rate is really high. So, you don't need as much money, but you might need more than you think. So that's something to think about. Inventory, right?
Yeah, you're right. I'm just a little guy. I should take your word for it. So I'm just like blah blah blah. But yeah, you're right.
You're getting bigger. You're humble, like someone said there. But they were saying someone's not humble. But Lee, you're humble. You're getting bigger. He just picked up. Okay, I don't know if I'm.
Yeah, you can say. I'm gonna make a video about it anyways.
Yeah, he just picked up from like a auction, like 10 walls. I don't know what it was. I'm just making up numbers.
Two 20 by 30 high peak marquees with walls. For $500.
You heard it here first before it goes on the YouTube channel, people.
Yeah. Everyone, Lee's gonna probably become the biggest YouTuber of the event rental business. He makes better videos than all of us. He's got better thumbnails than all of us. He's more entertaining than all of us. He's got the YouTube shit down.
I'm trying. I'm trying to get there.
I get jealous when I watch his videos. His videos are way better than any of all of ours.
He's great. It's true valuetainment is what it is. I'm trying to get more and more funny. The thing is, everybody, I'm a hyper person. If you met me in person, I'm hyper. I'm fun. I swear a lot. I don't like to swear.
We can tell.
No, I don't like to swear in my videos, so I tone it down so I don't drop 20 F-bombs.
Let Lee talk. I want to hear about his strategy of future.
Well, you're like, I'm gonna be the biggest YouTuber, but I beg to differ. Like in this space, like I don't think you guys realize how much I just sit and watch your videos over again. Like Adam, you've got a 30 by 60 pole tent video, and I think I've watched it about 100 times. I keep watching it because I'm preparing myself for the summer, right? So you probably have like 100 people on your channel at all times just memorizing that video so that they can learn to set up that tent. And I'm just like a bam, and then it's gone. So
cool. That's awesome.
Yeah. So, but Lee, like for some reason, you got like there's a style to your editing is good, right? So there might be like a fifth person we don't know, like in the shadows, like slowly building up. You never know. There's there might be more to come anyway, right? So
we're all good, bro. We're all.
What do you use? Lee, what do you use? Just iPhone, right? To edit?
Yeah, just iMovie. And every time that I've got like a cool picture, I just grab something off Google, and then I just take a background remover and just turn it into a PNG file, put it on top, or else I just like do the green screen trick and put it on, and that's where it's all just cheap tricks. But I don't know.
Right.
It's fun.
For this right here, it's cool when we don't talk over each other. Listen. We're not as rude as you think we are. Sometimes there's like a delay on here, and then we go over each other. It's like we think it's silence, and then we start talking. Well, then it comes in. We realize they're halfway through a sentence. Like, oh, okay, I'll stop talking. Yeah. Then we both stop talking. Then we both start talking. It gets bad. It gets awkward. Bear with us. It's live streams. We just want to give you out the information. But here's a couple comments from the fans. They like my bloopers.
Hey, dudes.
Wait a minute. Look at this one.
I have to go.
I know. You got – okay. Listen, Adam's about to leave because he's got a live stream in about like 12 minutes. That's going to be also in the group and on Facebook. So I'll end it with these guys, but he's going to bounce out real quick so he can get his other person ready.
Let me just say for anyone who's still watching – this next live stream that I'm doing on my channel is a complete startup. They know nothing. So this is basically their first phone call with me that would normally be on Patreon. And I'm just going to like answer all their questions and try to get them starting in the best way possible. So anyone who will jump over there and also answer their questions with a different point of view, that'd be cool. Let's just get these dudes who are starting a brand new company up on the best foot. Guys, I'm out.
Wait, before you're gone, look at it. Before you leave, love that there's 4 very smart, driven, intelligent men who know what they're talking about on here. Thank you, Madeline. Or Madeline. I don't know how you like it pronounced. Laughy faces.
Maddie.
It's Maddie. What else we got here? How do you hop on? He just explained it. Bye.
See Adam.
100%. Would you agree on Madeline? But no, I'm just kidding. So yeah, I'm glad you guys hopped on randomly. We definitely got to do this. I'm gonna try to get Corny Carney on as well. I'm gonna try and grab what's his face too, Ishmael, because everybody's on YouTube now. If we can get some of the other YouTubers, like why isn't Craig Grant here? He does all those stuff too. He's got like 1,600 subscribers. I'm curious what software he uses, if he uses just pen and paper.
Yeah, like in that poll, you know, I posted that poll just to get an idea of like what's going on. I should actually post it in like for those joining just now. The poll was which software do you use? Okay, and the people went crazy in the comments, which was kind of cool. But I should also post it in the other group, like the tents one, because that one, like yours, is more about bounce houses, which is fine. So I'm curious. Yeah. Different for the tents group as well. Like I forget the name of the group, but you know, you're on another group too.
I like to say that like my group is the true party rental group. It's the true, like, you can do tents, but if you want to start doing like something else, if you're looking into getting to something else, you might find that something else in the group as well as good information of what you're already doing. I get a lot. There's people that own tent oxes in my group. There's, you know what I mean? There's people that own, there's multiple size people in this group, and they're all from multiple backgrounds. But a lot of them do tents and bounce houses, or bounce houses and something else, hard rides. Like there's a lot of I feel like to do this business, you have to have some entrepreneurial spirit with you to start with, and then the party rental companies, the event companies, they have like some of the most. If you're $1 million company, you got an entrepreneurial spirit. You're doing something right because you scaled it. You didn't want this to just be backyard, and you realize what this can actually be. That's why you see people with 5 inflatables in a garage. Then you see somebody with multi-million-dollar warehouse.
Yeah, and that's a good question there for Lee. And I agree. He has some good flair. I gave him a tip last time, actually. But I said, use giant, like glasses. But I'm thinking specifically, what are those glasses? You know, the
martini glasses.
Martini, yeah. Use a giant martini glass and light that on fire. I think that would get you some views.
I'm just trying to do what I do. If the views come, that's fantastic. I mean, I am trying to get views, but whatever. Yeah. So tips for people starting a flame bartending business. Well, there's practice flare bottles that you can order online and get those and watch some videos to learn how to do your tricks. When you do some gigs, only do the moves that you know how to do. And then I started out by putting shatterproof mats, like those anti-fatigue mats, behind the bar, so that if something does fall, it's just nothing's going to happen. And that's the biggest thing. Oh, I guess one other thing: if you're flipping a bottle, just flip it sideways so that it falls sideways instead of don't flip out, because that'll flip out towards the customer, and that's it.
So, would you start with fire or no?
I probably wouldn't even do fire. It's definitely very dangerous, and people love it, and I don't care. I just do it anyways because I make sure that all the fireballs are blown behind the bar so that they're contained in the bar area. But it's definitely a dangerous thing. Like, we carry fire extinguishers as well, but to insure it, like, it is so much money, more than you could even charge on a premium. So I don't even have insurance for my fire tricks. I just say, if you want them, like, you just have to trust that I'm good, and I know my limits, right? So
yeah, that's actually interesting. That's a good point. That's something I didn't think about, is the insurance on that. Like, or even the rules of the venues, right? Like
for around here, even to like light a lighter for anything for that, you have to have 5 million in liability assurance, like the same as someone doing a big pyrotechnic show at like a thing. It's like the same insurance, so it's ridiculous, and it's not anything that I could definitely scale. Hence why I have these other businesses, right, that I'm taking from a different angle.
Do you get permission from the venue to like do the fire? Like, do you tell them, hey, there's gonna be fire?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I just like
you get paid more for fire though, right? At least
lots more. Okay, so like I'm always talking about like cheap photo booths and like undercutting. Well, the bartending service is massively on the other end of the scale. It's only like corporate events, top tier, like the gigs are worth a lot for a service based business. So
I think that's awesome, man. So that we had a question here. How about some pointers on YouTube? Start doing videos of sanding and polishing whiskey barrels and taking pictures of my horse trailer and bar remodel. I'm not gonna do a YouTube session right now, but I think we should do when we do this next. Like we'll figure out a date. I'll be in your guys' inboxes. We'll figure out a date where we get everybody together, and we'll do this for like a whole hour. But I think part of that segment we can definitely talk about YouTube and how you can probably use it for your rental business, or how to go at least approach it, how we start, and maybe helps people if they want, if that's what you want to do and go on YouTube. I wouldn't wish this bug on anybody, but but it's fun once you got it. What do you guys think?
Yeah, that'd be fun. And I mean, probably a lot of people that have businesses and companies are kind of thinking, hey, let's make a few videos. And why not? If your channel's viewed by your clients, that's always good. They can kind of see your inventory, talk about what you got. Someone said horse trailers, so that's something definitely that you can kind of do a tour of. And if your clients are thinking, oh, I don't know if this is right for me, well, that video is gonna tell them if it's right for them, right? Or you can do it like vlog style. Like ours are kind of more vlog style. They're not really for the customer. That's kind of one way to do it too.
I'm trying to do value. Like I say, Lee's is more like valuetainment, and I'm trying to go down that road a little bit more too. But it's way more what you call it, like education than like edutainment. Is it called too, or valuetainment? What do they call it? I don't know.
That's funny that you say that. Do you know the Valuetainment channel, the YouTube channel Valuetainment?
Yeah, I think it's valuetainment or it's edutainment. That's what they call it, but it's basically the whole concept.
Yeah, there's a channel called Valuetainment by this guy named Patrick Bet David, and it's actually a great channel. It's a business channel, but the guy's really, really smart, and I recommend that channel if you're like into business a bit.
So there was a question about someone who was like, hey, how do I market my horse trailer bar? And I just wanted to weigh in on that really quick. Mm-hmm. I think that you have to think it's a Google versus Facebook thing, right? Would someone go to Google and look up horse trailer bar? If you think that they would, then you'd probably want to make Google your main draw. For me, if I was trying to market it, I'd think, okay, this is something that brides would probably get, and this is something that they'd get on a whim. If they saw it, they'd like it. They'd need to see pictures first. So I'd say it's like a Facebook group sort of advertising thing. If you could get some rocking pictures of it and, throw a special on it and just like push it out through Facebook groups, you'll probably get a lot of hits that way.
So I actually just did a contest on Instagram with paired with a couple different event companies, and one of those companies, there's 4 of us. We did like a joint contest, and one of those companies was renting out horse trailers. And to get started, before they even had the horse trailer, they just went online and they essentially stole a couple pictures, but I mean, they were just like general stock photos of horse trailers that looked fancy, slapped those onto their Instagram account. And apparently they got a bunch of bookings before they even built their thing, but they would be transparent with their customers saying, these pictures are fake, but this is how our trailer is going to look like. This is our progress so far. And they literally got customers before they even had the trailer, but they just used stock photos for the time being.
Yeah, I don't have a phone machine. It's on my website already, ready to be booked, and I might be able to take bookings for it before I even own it.
Yeah, exactly. So that's
I think we all do a little of that.
I think it's a great marketing technique too. Have it on there. Oh, I don't actually own this. It was just on the website. I'm just seeing if people even want it. Sorry, but I do have all this. So I'm actually going to wrap it up here. Thank you again, Inflatable Office, for being the sponsor of this week's stream. Definitely looking forward to next week's sponsor. I'm not doing sponsors every single week for the same company or anything like that. I'm trying to bring more awareness to more people, get a little bit of money into here, into the what you call its pocket, into the channel's pocket, so we can get some more better cameras, better information, use that to do some crazy things. I got some crazy idea coming for you people. It's not all about me, trust me. Check them out. Check Inflatable Office out. I dropped the link below as well. But my buddy Adam is about to go live right now, so go check him out. Thank you, Lee. Thank you, Les. Thank you, everybody that's watched this stream and has made this all happen. I wouldn't be doing this if I didn't have anybody to freaking blab in their ear. So thank you.
Take it easy.
Be safe, everyone.